How do you learn? Have you ever asked yourself this question? How do we learn? That's what we're going to talk about today, and I'm going to show you a bunch of language, vocabulary, phrasal verbs that will help you express your thoughts and sustain conversations about learning. Remember to speak out loud as we go because we want to activate all this language in your brain, all right? So I'm going to share screen with you now. Take a look at these pictures here. What do they represent? They're all showing people learning somehow by reading books, by watching online videos, maybe here on YouTube, maybe on another platform. Here we have a kid, right? Riding a bike and definitely learning an important lesson. So what are the things that we only learn like with hands-on experience? Down here, we have people in a classroom, right? Very traditional learning. And we have VR glasses being used in classrooms. Have you ever seen this being used inside a classroom? And the last photo here, we have a kid talking to probably his grandma. So what can we learn from these conversations with the elderly? So these are all different ways of learning, and I'm showing you these pictures to jog your creativity so you can start thinking about how you learn best. Now let's jump into some vocabulary, okay? Words and expressions related to learning in general. First one is concentration. So is it easy? Is it easy for you to keep your concentration, right? Do you easily lose focus? Do you easily lose focus? Is it hard to keep our concentration, right? For example, I need silence, okay, to keep my concentration. If you're using your phone next to me or if you're talking to people, I can't help but paying attention. So I need silence to keep my concentration, okay? What about problem solving? Some games are really good to develop problem solving skills. For example, like Sudoku is very nice if you want to develop problem solving skills. These skills are very important in the job market, right? So Sudoku is very nice if you want to develop problem solving skills. Repeat with me. Activate this language, okay? So how would you rate your problem solving skills? How would you rate your problem solving skills? What about creativity? Creativity, okay? And you are very creative. So do you see yourself as a creative person? Okay. Do you see yourself as a creative person? Okay. How do you express creativity? Right? Drawing helps me express my creativity. How can you express your creativity? Cooking, definitely, definitely helps me express my creativity. How do you express your creativity? Are you a creative person? Okay. What about mental exercise? Speaking another language is pretty good mental exercise. It's pretty good mental exercise. What else is good mental exercise in your opinion? Right? Mental exercise. And being bilingual. Being bilingual can help prevent diseases. Did you know that? This is something that we're going to see in one of the videos that I will show in our live lesson, right? So being bilingual can help prevent diseases, right? Bilingual brains have different characteristics. So bilingual brains have different characteristics. Are you bilingual? Are you bilingual? Do you speak more than 2 languages? Right? Early exposure. Exposure is exposição. So early exposure to a second language can help the person learn faster. Early exposure, right? Children with early exposure to video games can be more children with early exposure to video games can have better reflexes. You thought I would say something negative, right? It's not all bad about video games, okay? But they can be very dangerous, I know. But children with early exposure to video games can have better reflexes. These are the voices in my mind speaking, okay? This is no science. These are example sentences, so we can talk about the topic, okay? Don't come after me, hater. Now, native language. What's your native language? What is your native language, right? Portuguese is my native language. What about yours? What is your native language? What's your native language? Okay? Portuguese is my native language. People who have English as their native language can communicate basically anywhere in the world, which is also a lie. We know it's just an example, but major capitals mostly, right? So people who have English as their native language can communicate basically anywhere in the world without having to learn another language, right? Because we can communicate anywhere in the world because we learned English, even though it's not our native language. It's our second language. So I can say that English is my second language. What's your second language? Spanish is my third language. Spanish is my third language, okay? Maybe French is gonna be my fourth language. I'm not sure which language I'm gonna learn next, okay? First language, second language. Repeat examples with me as we go. Activate this language. Pause the video, repeat the sentences aloud, adapt the sentences so they are true for you. Remember, active approach all the time, okay? And opens doors, like abrir portas. It's the same expression that we have in Portuguese. So speaking other languages can open doors. Speaking other languages can open doors, okay? Having good networking can open doors. Having good networking can open doors. Repeat with me, okay? Fluency, okay? You got to work very hard to achieve fluency in a language. Fluency, the ability of speaking without major concerns or struggles, right? Putting words together, putting your thoughts and ideas together, building sentences. So it's hard. You got to work very hard to achieve fluency, right? Fluency and being fluent. And your accent. Everyone has got an accent. Stop worrying about your accent. Everyone has got an accent. Who do you want to sound like? Americans, Australians, right? Irish? Probably not, but there you go, you know. So everyone's got an accent. You should worry less about your accent and more about communicating, and then your accent and your pronunciation is going to improve as you go. What about practice? Okay. So watching series is very good practice. How do you practice? How do you practice English? How do you practice reading? How do you practice listening? Okay? You could say watching series in general without a, okay? Just watching series in plural. Let me check this. The series is in the singular, even though we have an S, but it's countable. See, a plural is also series. So you could say watching series is very good practice, okay? And confidence, right? Speaking another language gives you the confidence to travel, right? It gives you the confidence to travel or to approach people, to start conversation, right? Practicing conversation gives you the confidence to approach other people and start conversations in real life. It does happen, okay? Now let's move on and talk about some phrasal verbs to pick up a language, okay? So you could say that kids can pick up a language very fast. Did you pick up English fast? I did because I was a child, but Spanish, I did pick up Spanish fast as well, but I was immersed in the language, studying 5 hours a day, living with people who spoke Spanish. It was insane. So yeah, I did pick it up quite fast, but I don't think we can easily reproduce that level of exposure. You know what I mean? But I did pick up Spanish quite fast. I did pick up Spanish quite fast when I lived in Spain. And to brush up on, repeat with me, to brush up on, which is to improve. Okay, so let's brush up on our vocabulary now with this lesson. You got to brush up on your English. You got to brush up on your English. You got to make it better. You got to work on your English. Okay, and to zone out. I zoned out, zoned. I zoned out in the meeting because I'm exhausted. I zoned out in the meeting because I'm exhausted. Okay? To stop paying attention, to a fly passes by and you just follow it and you're gone. So I zoned out. Is it easy for you to zone out? And switching between languages, right? So if you are bilingual, you are more likely to switch between languages. Is it hard for you? Is it hard for you to switch between languages, right? Switching between languages can be very exhausting. Switching between languages can be very exhausting. And another phrasal verb connected to learning is to figure out, which is to finally understand how something works, okay? Or finally understand something, to figure out. So I've never seen this problem in the system before, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll solve it, okay? Let's figure out. Let's figure out how to contact all the clients. Let's figure out how to do it, to figure out. And to get by in a language, which means, for example, well, I'm not 100% fluent in Spanish, but I can get by, I can get by. I can get by. I can get by in Spanish, which means I can buy stuff. I'm not gonna get lost. I'm not in any kind of danger, right? I manage the basic language skills, so I can get by. I can get by in French, or I can get by in English. In what languages can you get by? Repeat and activate this language with me. All right? There you go. We have some pretty good language for you to practice and talk about learning in general. Think about this. How do you learn? How do you enjoy learning? Do you enjoy reading? I love watching lessons. I prefer learning with teachers. I don't love learning by myself. Other than reading books, then yeah, I can do that by myself. But think about this out loud. Express your opinion, express your thoughts, okay? This is how you're going to activate all this language. And then in the future, in case you want to talk about it, your brain is much more likely to remember the vocabulary that you used to describe your life, your experiences, and your opinions, all right? I will see you in class.